You're watching another episode of Gardening Australia from the Shed. Check us out on ABC iView for more full episodes.
For me, gardening is all about getting people excited, inspired and connected. Adults and kids alike. It's just got to be fun. Hi, I'm Costa. Welcome to Gardening Australia. On the show this week, I'm forging on with the transformation of my verge into a productive community space by getting the kids fired up. Sophie meets a remarkable teenager with an inspiring passion for gardening, and Colin explores a garden that focuses on family. Last week we launched On The Verge, an exciting project where I'm building a productive garden on my nature strip to involve and inspire my local community. How are you going? You enjoying this?
Yeah.
Is it fun? I spread the word, rallied the troops, and in no time, we managed to convert part of my sandy verge into a rich, no-dig garden. Today, we're going to prepare another section of the verge for planting, the area that's going to become our herb garden. And to do this, I've got some very special friends to help me, my chooks. Chickens are incredible garden companions. So many different varieties, but all happy to spend their days digging up weeds, weed seeds and grass roots, fertilising as they go and saving the trouble of back-breaking work. To do their work safely throughout the day, they need a chicken tractor. This is a simple one that I've made from mostly recycled materials. It's a safe and secure, sheltered mobile home for my girls. I pin it to the ground to prevent it being tipped over. The wheels make it easy to move around, just like a wheelbarrow. I've used an old table with strong Avery mesh and I've reinforced it with timber rails. This will stop any curious critters like passing dogs giving the girls grief. The girls work away where I need them to during the day, and then in the afternoon I take them back to the comfort of their coop. They'll clear this area here in about 2 weeks, and I'll show you the fruits of their work when they're done. Hey guys, how you going?
Good.
Come and have a look at my chickens. Have you seen them before?
No.
Have a look. That's Henrietta. See, that's Henrietta, the big black one. And then the second black one is Louise. And then we've got Kinky up the back.
Are we going to plant all the stuff in all that space that they've taken out the grass and stuff?
Well, we're going to move this day after day until they've eaten all the grass in this area. And then once it's clear, we're going to put our herbs in here. Just head to our website for step-by-step instructions on how you can build a simple chicken tractor like this one. Alternatively, if you don't have the time or you're not that handy, you can buy one pre-made for about $500. Lunchbox. Hey guys, do you want to help me plant some veggies a bit later?
Yeah!
All right, fantastic, that's a deal, give me 5. How enthusiastic were those kids? Now Sophie has met up with a teenager whose enthusiasm has set him off on an amazing path.
Ned Reuter is a 15-year-old high school student in Adelaide, a passionate gardener and a bit of an overachiever when it comes to horticultural competitions.
I've won over 47 prizes at the Royal Adelaide Show this year, including pot plant cacti, first, pot plant succulent, first, pot plant window box, first, pot plant potted herbs, first.
I think you get the idea. At last year's Royal Adelaide Show Horticulture Division, in the teenage section, he had 36 prize-winning entries in 25 sections. This show bag of prizes earned him the most successful Teenage Exhibitor Award, creating history by winning the award for a third year in a row.
Second, and pot plant cacti third. How's that?
As much as Ned loves the outdoors and all things horticultural, his real passion is for succulents and cacti. How many different varieties do you grow?
There's about 150 different varieties that I have in the garden.
And how did you get involved in growing them?
I had some cuttings dropped off in the yard and I potted them up and left them at the front of the house with a for sale sign on them, and a lady offered me $30 for some agave antiatas. And
Ones
from
like
that,
those?
Ones like this one here.
Wow.
And I realised what you could actually get from a plant. These are my favourite succulents, Sophie. This is flapjacks, one of my favourite because it's got the red edge and then it goes into green, but it also gets lots of really small babies down the bottom, which fills out the pots really quickly.
And do you then propagate from those little pups?
If they get too big, I will pick them off and propagate them, but normally if I'm selling them, I like to keep them in.
And the jelly bean succulent, that's always a favourite.
It is. I'm hoping that it will flower sometime this year.
And the colours on this one are fantastic.
They are, and the way it grows up and covers the foliage going down, and it is really nice.
What are judges looking for when you put things like succulents into the competition?
What they're looking for is like a nice massive succulent. So something like this one, where there's nothing in between the leaves, there's no infection, nice moist soil underneath, and something that will complement the plant. So if it's a succulent, something like gravel is more suitable. If it's a herb in a pot, then maybe some straw or some bark, because that's what they grow in the garden.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Have you got any tips for people that might be considering exhibiting some of their own pots?
Yep. When you're exhibiting, always try to put more in a pot. This one here has actually got 4 or 5 all in one pot, so it's not just one plant. So it gives it a big round radius and it's got lots of dense green foliage.
This area looks great.
Yeah, it's looking really good at the moment.
An interesting mix of plants.
Yeah, there's some dinellas, some agapanthus, and then we've even got some runny posties up here, which is a great ground cover.
And what's this?
This is an honesty box system at the front of my house where people can come purchase succulents whenever they want, and they just leave the money behind in the box.
So this is a real little business, Ned.
It is, it's fantastic.
And what are you saving up for?
I'm saving up for my first ute so I can transport all the other succulents around, not having to use my parents as a taxi service.
And what are your long-term ambitions?
I want to start my own landscaping business and have an outlet of wholesale succulents.
And what's your favourite activity outside in the garden?
Probably potting up succulents and putting some seedlings in the veggie patch, or eating some of the freshly picked tomatoes or strawberries you've just grown in your garden, so it's always good fun.
How good is Ned getting into gardening at such a young age? The younger the better, if you ask me. Now, our no-dig garden here has been brewing away for about a week now. All those ingredients, the manures, the straws, the mulches, they're slowly breaking down. And over the next 6 months, they're going to turn into this beautiful, rich soil for our veggies to grow in. But the thing is, after all their hard work, the kids really want to get into it and start planting.
Wow, we're doing well, guys.
Today, we're going to start by planting some good old-fashioned fast food. Fast food? I mean crops. We're going with a variety of quick-growing, multicoloured leafy greens, some old-school favourites like snow peas, beetroot and potatoes, and a mixture of other plantings like comfrey, nasturtium and even some chicory. For a full list, go to the Gardening Australia website. Looks nice too. The way we can plant into our no-dig after only a week is very simple. All we're doing is isolating our seedling from what's going on deeper down by putting a pot of compost in our cleared area and planting straight into the compost. That way there's no chance of our fresh little roots getting burnt. What we're going to start with first is the beetroot. The next one goes in here.
Costa, where can I put mine?
Just a little bit further away. How many more have we got? One more beetroot. Fantastic.
Where can I put mine?
Do you know what these are, Rory?
Snow peas.
Now, have a look at that. There's snow pea seeds. And what about this? Who wants a fresh snow pea? Because these are what we're going to be growing in a couple of months. They're going to be hanging off our seedlings. Now, crunch them all at the same time. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is what we do. Again, we put our compost down, we get our snow pea, we put it in, and that's it. Now, I'm going to give everyone a seed. Just make a little hole, double the depth of the seed, and we're going to watch how the snow pea seed grows next to a snow pea seedling. And you can see the difference in how it grows. Who's got one? Did everyone get a seed? Now, my friend Tino, he's from Tasmania, and he gave me this special gift of, what's that? Potatoes. Exactly. You can take one small one. Take that one, Jess. You see that? See how the growth is coming out there? When we put it in, this one, I want you to do that. I want you to put that like that, and then we put a little bit of compost around it like that, and then some straw over the top. That's what we do, okay? Yeah, that's all right. Put some straw down like that. Hang on, we'll just put a bit of compost in there, just so it stays still. Okay, that's it. Planting continued over the next few days, and we managed to put in over 15 varieties of veggies. It was a great effort by everyone. Now, our verge is young, so there isn't really any maintenance to do. But let's go over and see Josh, who's got plenty of fun work and things to do in his garden.
Grass is growing, Dad.
Yes, it is growing. Woo! Super, Ollie! I've got to say, this garden has brought my family so much joy this summer. But it's autumn now and time for a bit of maintenance to make sure the garden keeps on thriving. This little patch of lawn around Ollie's play space gets an absolute hammering because he loves playing out here. And now is the perfect time to make sure it's in top shape. Next, a good stiff raking to pick up the clippings and tease the thatch. The trick to keeping lawn nice and healthy on minimum water, on sandy soil in particular, is to build up organic matter around the roots so it holds the moisture. And that's what I'm doing here. Just top dressing the lawn with a fine compost. Only about 5 to 10 mil. And then, with the back end of a rake, I'll just smooth it in. And it's really important that you don't smother the grass. You can see I'm just working it into the thatch. Now I'm giving it a good drink with a mix of fish emulsion, seaweed, with some additional iron to help with the green turf. And to finish off, a good deep drenching, the most satisfying part of all. This lemon tree has been another success story of this garden. I rescued it from near death when I first moved in, and it's rewarded me with so many lemons. But at this time of year, it's looking pretty hungry. So it's the perfect time to give it a feed of pelletised manure. In fact, all of the garden beds, shrubs and all, will get a feed of the same fertiliser. What can we find around here?
I've got something in my shoe.
Oh, a bit of mulch. Is that the mulch out of your shoe now? Ollie loves playing out the front yard just as much as he does out the back. And the cool thing about this space is that it's a habitat garden and it attracts all sorts of wildlife, which he finds just fascinating.
It's fascinating.
Yes, it is. This damp land has established beautifully. It collects rainfall off the roof of the house and it collects in a bit of a depression, whereas the rest of the dry land plantings out the front here receive direct rainfall alone. Now this, combined with the fact we've got grey water reuse and rainwater harvesting to irrigate the plants at the back, means that the whole house and garden has survived and done really well on around 1/3 of the water use of a typical Perth family home of the same size, which I reckon is just terrific. Now, at this time of year, all these rushes and sedges, they've dropped their seeds. They start to look a little bit ratty. So I'm going to give them a hard cut back so when the autumn rains come, when we get that new flush of growth, it'll look just lovely. So I'm giving these sedges a good thrashing before taking them out to make sure all the seeds have dropped, and I'll get more plants. Not everything's gone to plan. This thing is dead with a capital D. It's a Banksia nobilis, and I've got to confess, I killed it. I did something very stupid. I disturbed it around the base of its roots. I came across these 3 beautiful agave attenuata heads, and I thought they'd make a beautiful understory and backdrop, to this part of the garden. But I know that these Banksias hate disturbance. So I dug 3 holes, very small holes, thinking I'd get away with it. And when I was doing it, I knew I shouldn't have. And you know what? This thing turned up its toes and died within a week. So I'll take that on the chin and I'll hoik it out. And I won't do it again. And the last thing I'm going to do at the front is just go around and tip prune some of these native shrubs. And the reason I'm tip pruning them is that we'll get a flush of growth with the autumn rains, and I want them to really bush out. Well, I'm pretty happy with this. Is there room for Dad too? With the maintenance done, Ollie and I can go back to enjoying the garden. So do you know what the name of this one is?
Yes.
What is it?
It's
called Hardenbergia
called Hardenbergia.
Comptoniana.
Yes.
Can you say that one?
Toliana.
My mum and dad always gardened, and that, even now my mum's 83 and she gardens, she loves the garden and that, so you follow from your parents, don't you?
My girlfriend's quite big onto it, and she's probably taught me the most about it, and seeing her work in our vegetable patch at home's been quite enlightening for me, I suppose.
I really taught myself. I've bought books, I watch gardening programs on television, I pick up tips from people. It's like I like cooking, so therefore, because I'm interested, I watch and read about that.
Mum and Dad mostly from the vegetable garden, so probably my first entree into it was in the vegetables.
Probably my dad, my granddad. They spend a lot of time outside and they're very passionate about their garden, so I don't know as much as they do, but yeah, I hear through them.
Nobody really, but my father inspired me. He knew the scientific names of the plants, and so that got me interested, because I'm interested in languages too.
My granddad was awesome, but he wasn't much of a talker, so it was just watch and learn, and if you don't, you won't pick anything up, but the rest is experiment, really.
Now, earlier, I showed you my girls out at work in their chicken tractor on the verge. Now, that's during the day. They come home at the end of the day to this wonderful chicken run, as well as their 5-star chicken hotel, which has everything they need. People ask me, Costa, what are some good tips for dealing with chickens at home? I think one of the most important ones when you set up your run is to go with some netting like this over the top, for 2 reasons. It keeps the birds in, stops them from wandering off into the neighbours or into your veggie patch. But second of all, it keeps any vermin such as pigeons and even the bigger birds like crows from coming in to their guest house and sneaking away with their eggs. There you go. That's one of the exciting parts of the day, to go down and see what the girls have laid. Now, I know actually which chicken has laid which egg. This smaller one was laid by Henrietta. She's an Australorp, a black Australorp. They're big birds, soft-feathered, and they lay quite prolifically. They lay a lot of eggs during the year. This egg, with the pitted white marks in it, that's from my special girl, Kinky. Kinky is a Rhode Island Red. I really like them as a breed. They're calm and great with kids. They work well in the garden, and this wonderful girl goes with me everywhere. She's my buddy on talks, workshops, you name it. She's right next to me. Now, people often say, Costa, I've got problems with my chickens. Their feathers are falling out, they're off the lay. And look, that's nature. If she lays 200 or 220 eggs a year, give her a bit of a break for 6 or 8 weeks. When they do go like that, they're actually molting to allow the new feathers to come out. So they need to put all their energy into feather making, not egg making. It's just nature at work. Chickens are not an expensive addition to a household. In fact, they're real community builders. For instance, neighbours supply kitchen scraps for free. I use a bale of straw over a season and a bag of grain every 8 weeks or so. In return, I get manure or compost accelerant, soil aeration and bug control. If you want to know more about my chickens, you can read all about them in the April edition of the Gardening Australia magazine. Now, it's over to Colin, who's found a garden that's been designed to inspire children.
This is a garden that inspires imagination. And where a family is creating a space that's perfect for their lifestyle.
Hey, Colin.
G'day, Philip.
How are you?
Hiya, good.
Very well.
Hello,
This is my wife,
Nice to
Angela.
meet you, Colin.
Yeah,
How are
too.
you?
I'm just great, thanks.
That's good. That's
Hello,
Monty.
little dog. Hello, Monty. This 2.5 hectare garden in Chambers Flat, just south of Brisbane, is the home of Philippe and Angela and their daughters, Albertine and Gardenia. You've got a bit of wheel spin there. What was here when you first came here?
A couple of little trees around the place and a natural bush. Which
Yes.
Bit by bit, it just grew. So
Gee, that's great.
It's just many years of passion, many years of just plodding along.
And you've used a lot of recycled materials on.
We're working on a construction site and also landscaping, so they're a haven for it.
Yes,
And,
yeah.
I come home and Angela says, "What's this?" Never mind, don't worry about it.
He goes with a bag of concrete, Colin, and he comes home with a ute load.
Philippe is a landscape gardener and self-confessed jack of all trades. His wife Angela is an interior designer. You can see their combined design sense and eye for detail throughout the garden. At its centre, however, is a strong focus on family.
Well, we tried to put some fun things in the garden, Colin, because I guess it does get the kids out because it is quirky and fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we found these bikes at the local dump and painted them. The kids love it.
The block is surrounded by natural bushland with areas scooped out to create rooms for the different play areas. There's a more formal garden around the house, an orchard and a rose garden, but a casual sense of fun is the main aim of this garden. So this is the Chook house, and there's a Chook.
Yes,
Yeah.
back here.
So how many chickens do you keep in here?
Well, just the 4 at the moment. We're just keeping it small at the moment. Just keep enough eggs for our family supply.
And did you build this?
I did. It all came from roof trusses. All nice hardwood.
All recycled materials.
All recycled.
And here we have all these beautiful magnolia little gems. But I did notice that you've been a naughty boy. You haven't been looking after this one very well because see that there?
Little scales.
Scale, yeah. So all the ants are running up and down the trunk too. We will get laden with ants because they go there for the honeydew and that the ants that the scale produces, that's their food. So they just keep coming back. So a bit of white oil, I think, might be the thing.
This is a succulent garden here.
Yeah.
And I thought as much a succulent garden, it's not an easy kind of garden plant.
No.
That you can put in a normal garden bed. So I thought maybe I would like to display them in a nice terracotta.
That's right.
In his own little environment.
It's outstanding.
But I think that one of the favourites are the flapjacks.
Oh yes, they're good, aren't they?
I love it. It's just that little dish effect, and I just take a lot of cuttings out of that and just put them in pots.
Yes.
Colin, I just want to show you one of my favourite part of the garden. Only because it's a bit of a trial, and it's just one of those things. And I just love looking at this view. It's just you've got the round dome of the gardenias, and you've got the frangipanis behind you.
That's right.
And then you've got the gingers behind. It's like actually like a screen.
One of the first projects completed when the garden was first established back in the 1980s was the dam.
We look at it in the morning, the sun rises up, it reflects, reflection of the sky and the trees and everything else. It's just magic.
Every part of this rambling garden is designed to encourage all members of the family, no matter what their age, to get outdoors and have fun. What in the garden do you like?
The bike track.
Yeah?
Stage.
Oh, that's right. We haven't seen the stage yet.
It's right behind you.
Oh, is it? I have to have a look at that. Well, I've got to get a ticket. My dad was wrong. Money does grow on trees.
Ticket.
Can I have a ticket, please?
Yes.
There's my money.
Thank you.
Where's my ticket?
There.
Oh, thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gaidi doing her ballet.
Philippe and Angela have created an exciting and inspirational environment. One that makes the most of the bushland setting, but most importantly, encourages everyone to get out and explore the natural wonders of this amazing garden.
I think being in greenery is just so good for you. Yeah, I just love being outside. It just makes you happy.
I don't think you can push the kids too much. I think they've got to grow with it and you see the passion of their parents of going out in the garden.
This one is impossible!
We sometimes wonder about what to give people as a gift. I think garden memories will travel with the kids for life, and I can't wait to see the gardens of their future.